Arcana Force action for you today. It appears that Swordsoul is still going strong. We also have some Ryu-Ge and so much more. Smash the like button, that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. Now this is some coin flipping action sporting off a Desperado Boral Dragon in here, which I guess is interesting to say the least, but you know, I guess we're just doing this just to be able to deploy it onto the field, but alas, interesting little tech choice. We're doing 2 copies of the Goddess Duality. I still think this is probably the best card that Arcana Force could have hoped for in the generic department, and of course everything else is going to be making this deck out to be the World Turbo. Remember, you're trying to take that extra turn away from your opponent, and Mr. the Chaos Ruler down here is basically going to allow all of this little turbo action to kind of actually happen. I still think that this deck is incredibly fun. All right, not every deck has to be super serial, but if you're looking for a deck that will carry you at least through the fun rounds of an event, you're definitely looking at something like this to do that. All right, what else we got back here? We have some Swordsoul action for you. Now, I will tell you, I'm extremely happy to see that we're playing the Mystery Shell Dragon as a normal worm monster. Oh boy, we've really come far enough that we can play Lordly Load and the Roar out here to get this normal monster set up so that, guess what, you can start to do some of the fancier lines of play. We are also doing triple copies of Surya. This card is still absolutely everything I wanted it to be, all right? The fact that you just get a free extender, a free link monster pulled out of the deck for the cost of like 4,000 life points is so incredibly strong. Like, it is very, very ignorant to say what this deck can do. Also, only 1 incredible Ecclesia. This deck has some interesting ratios about it, and I actually kind of like it. It's nice to see a difference of opinions out here being had in terms of these deck builds for what people can do. All right, ooh. We have your Ryu-Ge, aka, you know, using the gate to set up on into, oh boy, our dear old friend, the Baba. We also have the Koiba. I mean, this is your dinosaur. This is going to be your worm monster. You can thank all the extra synergy, and then, of course, 1 copy of Yunba, which is going to be your sea serpent, because you got to remember, with how the interactions require for this, you have to have 1 of each to go. So, you know, it's interesting, especially with like the current iteration of Dinosaur. I don't think a lot of people expected these engines to kind of meld together in the way they did, but it feels quite refreshing just to see how this build is able to take off, how you're able to use that old existing Dinosaur support, and how you're able to build this deck into this new generational pile out here to be able to kind of control your opponent. Like, still good old dinosaurs. All right, what else we got? We have more Meteoractor Argos. I actually have found this to be very interesting. The fact that these 2 builds have kind of ended up together. And I partially want to blame good old Invoker out here for some of this, because this is in fact an Earth Warrior monster that you can cheat out, and then the Meteoractor stuff is just turbo level 3 and go. Now this build, honestly, I'm surprised they're actually playing Chosen by the World Chalice. Most of these builds have chosen to play like an Avion or, you know, another level 3 wind monster. That way, you know, you can typically get the free special summon and continue up the lines of play. We're also playing 1 copy of the Statue of Anguish Pattern. Okay, I mean, sure, man. I'm not going to question some of this stuff. I guess this is just for an auto level 7, but we were never actually doing that. Sure. Outside of that, hey, if you want some material action for you, this might be the deck to try out. Ooh, we have Primite Dark Magician. Now, I have been a huge fan of seeing how many people can come up with some of these cool ideas for Dark Magician. And I do see we are playing a Maximus package in here. Hey, being able to do the little fun things, as we like to call them in here, ripping away things from your opponent's extra deck, aka, you know, dropping Herald, getting a search into the Illusion, and the Illusion turns on into the Magician Souls, and you now have this free line of advantage out here, so that you can continue doing your little combo extension plays, is going to be very, very crucially important. As to see, we are playing 1 copy of the Resounding Reaction as well. Hey, if you have looked at the current iteration of Dark Magician and you're kind of in the same boat as a lot of people, you're just kind of like, I don't know how I feel about this. You know, I don't know if this is like the method to go with it. I think that this is what you need to be playing, honestly. The old combo stuff, not so much. What in the world is this? First of all, I see White Knight and White Relic are showing up in here. We're not playing the big fat Chungus, which definitely is very strong, but instead I find we're playing an Ohime package in here. So we're relying on the Mikanko stuff in here, I guess, to be our other ritual base so that we can do things. I also see Hello Fiendsmith package. How are you? I mean, the fact that, you know, we're actually still playing this incredibly small package to get to Desiree. You know, I will say the Fiendsmith package has done a good job at, like, these roguisher ideas, kind of being the thing that holds it together in here and allows you to do all of this little extra stuff. For sure, like, that has not changed, but this is one of those situations you look at the deck build and you're like, there's a lot of stuff going on here, when maybe the big guy, you know, Albazoa would have been something to consider. Alright, we also have, oh man, this is Labyrinth, Primordial, so we are using the Space Omanji Usagi. We are using this as a level 1 tuner to call out off of the Primite Roar to be able to make, you know, the Baron and all this other incredibly juicy stuff in here. Oh, that's kind of cool, actually. And then, of course, you know, the Paleozoic cards. We have seen so much action in the Paleozoic department. Like, the TCG were the ones that were loving this package. I didn't really see people considering the Labyrinth stuff with this, though. You know, this little inclusion of this package doesn't really change much. I mean, you're already rolling out the Elemental Burst out here to clean up your opponent's field. Like, you've done what you've came to do. You're also only playing 27. Actually, I love this. 27 spells, 27. And, of course, a nice little 6. Interesting. Alright, we also have some B-Trooper action for you out here. I gotta tell you, you do not see a lot of B-Trooper builds at all. This build is using the Crawler stuff to kind of set up. I think a lot of people underestimate how incredibly good Crawler Soma actually is. Like, not only does this clean things out of the deck, you get some free action with this. Of course, yeah, it's always got to be a grass deck, right? I mean, if you're playing this much, you know, insect, package, turbo toolbox, of course you're going to need to rely on something like Grass Looks Greener to, you know, shave off that fat so that you can initially go through the combo lines and do what you need to do. Initially, outside of that, the insect toolbox is nowhere near as strong as you might think it is. We just got some cool new pieces for on our side of the game for the insect stuff in the form of the new TCG exclusives, which I think will help out this pile. But for now, the TCG build and the OCG build are a little bit different. Ooh, we have some Spyral action. The first thing I see just automatically on this list is, hi, Artifact Scythe, how are you? I too love Scythe locking my opponent and telling them to get good. Of course, it must be so nice to have Master Plan at 1 out here. The fact that Master Plan is just the linchpin of this deck is the only thing that the TCG doesn't have. Even so, like, this build's not even going fully crazy on rescues, so they're just opting to play the 2. Like, I think this is fine. Still playing the 1 card because once per turn, triple field spell. Spyral's effectively at 150% over there in the OCG, which is crazy to think about, that it's even at full power. This deck is still struggling, but I mean, you still have inboard pieces, you know. You still have Apollosa, you know, you still have the Trigate Lizard to set up. You're also playing Unchained stuff in here now. Didn't expect that. This build's also not even playing Sleepy Boy, which is really disappointing, because Sleepy Boy is the heart and soul of the deck, in my opinion. Ooh, we also have some Primite Blue Eyes for you here on the back end of things. I see we are doing the Vermilion Dragon mech down here. That's really cool. Who needs, you know, any of the other cool things? Of course, full action here. We're also only playing 1 copy of Blue Eyes White Dragon. That's hilarious. How the times have changed. We are doing 1 copy of the Ultimate Fusion. 1 Saga, of course. All of this extra little fun stuff in here, I think, kind of patches up and lets you do everything that you need to. But this is Blue Eyes for you, pretty much in a nutshell. Deck looks fire, actually. So what do you guys think about everything? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.